Hello, everybody. Welcome to the new crypto business podcast brought to you by tokenmines.co. I'm your host, Rob Eijgenraam. I'm a director at Tokenmines, a blockchain agency that combines all the crypto disciplines from marketing to development. In this podcast, we are going to talk about any blockchain topic that's relevant for businesses and entrepreneurs. Today's topic is PFP NFT strategies. I have in a podcast with me today Anchor and Josh. Anchor is a veteran crypto marketeer from the international as well as Asian market. And Josh is an experienced blockchain development manager working on various PFP NFT projects. Before we dive into the marketing and development strategies, let's just talk a little bit about what PFP NFTs are exactly. So I think most of you are familiar with CryptoPunks, and that's like basically your Genesis PFP NFT project, which basically means that it's used for profile pictures. So usually they have a limited supply, and there are slight variations for every NFT minted. So every NFT obviously is unique, but there are some different attributes like different background, different head, different skin color, different accessories, etc. And right now the biggest one is the Bored Ape Yacht Club. If you go to rarity.tools, which is one of the ranking websites for NFTs, kind of like the CoinMarketCap for NFTs, you can see that the floor price is around 80 Ethereum, which is at the time of recording around 250,000 US dollar. And there are 10,000 in existence. They're doing very well. Then we have World of Women, it's a similar concept, but a different team. And you can see their floor price is lower, around 8 Ethereum. So I think around $25,000. Also a limited supply of 10,000. So one NFT project that is a good example of what is not a PFP NFT is CryptoKitties. So obviously it's based on the same technology, ERC-721. But the difference is that they are not limited supply. So anybody can breed them, which makes their price not very stable. And you can also see that the 90-day average is actually a lot lower, while it's one of the oldest NFT projects. So it's right now around 0.08 Ethereum, which I think is around $250. Still a lot of money, but obviously a lot less than the others. So how are these projects usually set up? So usually they have their own community and website where people can go to mint them. They have an initial mint of their supply, whether it's 1,000, 5,000, 10,000. People can go there, they connect with either their MetaMask or another wallet, and they will be randomly allocated one of the PFP NFTs when they click mint. So this is an example, the Crop Collective. I can connect my wallet and it will pop up MetaMask, will show a special minting page, and I can actually participate in the public sale. So I will pay obviously gas fees and a fee on top, which, depending on the project, will range a little bit in price. But that money will go to the project itself for its further development, and then they're free to trade on marketplaces like OpenSea, for example. So now that we know a little bit more about what PFP NFTs are, let's go to Josh to talk a little bit about the PFP NFT development strategies.
Thanks, Rod. Thanks for having me. So, for the PFP NFT development strategies, this is very important, especially if you're new in the crypto space. You need to find a team to build your PFP NFT project, and that team that needs to be aware of the standard processes to make sure that the project is successful. So there are standard processes in developing a PFP NFT. It all starts with determining the smart contract specifications and the minting page desired from the client. So usually we request for information like minting fees, airdrop mint total, whitelist mint total, airdrop addresses, whitelist addresses, and then specific traits that they wanted to put under NFTs. After that, based from the specification provided or the details provided by the client, the NFT assets will then be created and uploaded to a third-party asset hosting like Pinata. Eventually, we'll start working on the design and the front-end application, and this will be done in parallel with the smart contract development. When the development of this front-end, the smart contract is done, we then start to integrate them in a test environment. For the smart contract, it's deployed in the Ethereum testnet, where it will be rigorously tested because it is very important to test smart contract, because if they are deployed, it is already immutable and it will cost us thousands of dollars to redeploy a new smart contract, especially in the Ethereum mainnet. After all this internal testing is done, we then submit our smart contract for external audit to determine if there are any issues or any security loopholes. This is a very important process because it assures that the smart contract is safe and trustworthy. After that, we need to address all the audit findings, and then if all the audit findings were addressed, we then deploy the smart contract to the choice of blockchain network. In this case, majority of the clients chooses Ethereum mainnet because of the higher liquidity, but Polygon is also gaining popularity because of the lesser gas fees. Then the front-end application is also deployed in the production environment, and when everything is up and running, we then start the turnover to the client by transferring the ownership of the smart contract. So that's the usual standard process in developing a PFP NFT project.
All right, thank you for that, Josh. So, regarding the smart contract part, right? I imagine there's a lot more to it than just a smart contract. Although, of course, that's the very essential part. But when there's a sale, there's of course the website, there's the MetaMask integration. You mentioned Pinata, so IPFS hosting. So I guess a lot of that is similar for a lot of projects. Are there any things that you see in the projects that you're doing and did so far, which could be kind of differences between projects regarding the development?
There are some projects that would require smart contracts that deals with auction and lottery. This is not the usual minting smart contract where you just mint and randomize a PFP NFT contract. This would let their community be able to bid on certain PFP NFT that are limited edition or rare in nature. Additionally, they also have lottery, which allows them to allows the community to bid and then win NFTs based on the smart contract lottery.
Okay, so that's quite interesting. There's a lot of possibility for projects to develop, and I guess they could potentially also have their own marketplaces that has some special benefit for the NFT holders and stuff. So yeah, thank you, George. Appreciate that. And I think there's probably a lot more to it that we can do that in further podcasts, maybe some deep dives into specific things like the testing process and maybe other aspects as well. Anchor, let's talk a little bit about your experience in crypto marketing, maybe some like general strategies for PFP NFT projects specifically.
Yeah, sure. And first, thank you, Josh, for sharing all the experience, right, for the NFT development. So, yeah, as a basic of every NFT project, I think for sure the security, the optimization, and all the smart contract running the testing is very important as a key, for the success of the project. And also here I will explain for sure like more information about the NFT marketing strategy. So again, like a proper marketing strategy is really very critical for building a success. We see, especially like a recent several months, a lot of new NFT projects every day. And the solution, like how to promote them in an effective way, really make a big difference. So the whole strategy. First, I think for the NFT projects, it is very important also for the the whole project, all the designs. For sure, it's always important. like what we see from 2D to 2.5 and to 3D, and even better illusions and concepts, as well as a good roadmap to attribute more like utility to the NFT, like tokens, metaverse, GameFi solutions, or maybe in the future any new utility that can contribute to NFT projects. So for the marketing side, especially from beginning, I think for all the NFT projects, right, it's very important and also very very hard, because from beginning nobody knows, it's from zero, and then we need to got actually some community like hype and social media and the user base to to do some visual marketing, use these initial like participants. So what we normally see is that first from the beginning we normally can do something like awareness building, like some giveaways, airdrop, to get the people initially on board to the community, and then also like generates a lot of high quality of contents, like to post on social media, to regularly post on the server, to make all the early participants to understand the project well and share to their friends, or so about this. And also we normally suggest that actually some PR and also on some crypto media is also very important to build the trustworthy of the whole project. We see actually an increase in traffic on those crypto media websites. They're also focusing a lot recently on NFT projects from normal like token or traditional blockchain projects. So it's it's well actually worth it to do this. And then it's also several other elements actually to contribute to the success for sure, like some influencer promotion, that some really high quality of influencers that really influential in the NFT field, like some MAYC, Bored Ape, or CryptoPunks holders. Some of them even have their own projects, so we can try to connect or build a relationship with them, as well as some collaborations with some a lot others like alpha projects, or some like really good projects. Normally it's after the mint, because they also want to offer some like benefits to their users and members if they see any potential projects that they want to collab with. This is also a good way to do some cross marketing. And other than that, like I said, the community and social media build up is very important. So once we get people on board, we can use these people like running some like events, like a referral, like a level events, to make them engaged more often in the community, to create hype. And other side, we can also motivate them to invite their like friends to the chat. So it's like 1,000 to 2,000 and to 4,000, like this. And then for sure it's also very very important, with all the like what list strategy and everything, like build a hype, like every segment, different strategies of each phase or something. This actually can be very flexible based on the market stages, based on the in general the engagement in the community. And like days or several days before the minting or during minting, it's also very important, because we need to keep the hype of the community for sure, especially during those days. So besides those what Josh said, to make sure that the smart contracts are good, tested on OpenSea, tested on the main testnet. Also, it's very important we get more hype and the continuous like engagement in the chat around the minting. So what we normally suggest that we do any like MA, no matter in Telegram or Discord, working with some really high quality of the MA groups, or even like MA in the own channel, to get people really hyped and to explain them, okay, what the project is about, what we're gonna to do, and to show them actually it's actually a very long vision project. For sure, we also need to do a lot of more, like post NFT minting, and like those developments for the future roadmap, no matter for metaverse or game. all the tokens, etc. Um, but those actually, I think we can explain further in the next podcast. So yeah, this is mainly on the NFT project, like from beginning to the minting and how to make it a real success. So yeah, thank you for listening. That is what I want to share.
Great, thank you, Anchor. Appreciate it. And again, just like George, a lot of points I think we can go into further in the next podcast. So maybe our listeners can share some of their thoughts in the comments if they want to hear something specifically. If we want to go into that topic a little bit more, because there is quite some content here that we just went over very quickly. I think a lot of people will probably have some information overload, but Anchor, maybe if you could pick out one of those things for PFP NFT marketing strategies, if you could in this podcast give one thing to our listeners, what piece of advice would you give them regarding promoting their project?
Yeah, I think that most important in that no matter for like influencer promotion, like for all this kind of PR and the ads promotion, the most important part is that first I think it's something like more detailed things. So we need to focus on those audience, target of the audience. Though we have a lot of NFT projects, right? For something like 2D or 3D, but it's always like for like collaborations for influencers, we can actually check what they normally focus on. So I know that some influencers and some PR they really prefer like a 3D model, or some really still into those like classic ones like CryptoPunks or Pixel Style or 2D or like board apps. So for example, if one project they are focusing on like animals or something like that, we can check okay which influencers, which other servers collaborations we can focus on, because they might show quite high interest, and it's also easier for us to do some collaboration with them, like the promotion. But still that this is actually something we need to think of actually to make the best use of that and more efficiency.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Anchor.
Yep.
So that's pretty much it for this podcast. To make it as compact as possible, I just want to give to the audience one other tip. Our data analyst at Tokenmines created a very nice Google Data Studio dashboard where you can see all the information about NFT performance from different sources combined. So we will leave a link for you guys in the show notes where you can see how much NFTs are selling for, different NFT launch pads, different trends in different regions, because there's quite some difference in NFT popularity between Asia, Europe, and the United States. And also different marketing sources. Like for example, you could see that Twitter is a very important source for NFT sales. So to leave with that, thank you everybody. Thank you George. Thank you Anchor for your time.
Thank you.